So Walgreens is set to close down 1,200 of its locations. Walgreens Pharmacy. CVS has already closed 900 of its locations between the years of 2022 and 2024 and is set to close down 270 more. Okay? Rite Aid has been bought out. They've 810 of their stores have already been bought by a private buyer. And they're looking to close 316 more. All the major pharmacy retailers shutting down, filing bankruptcy. And I can't help but think about who keeps pharmacies in business. Their main clientele. Sick people. And then last time I checked, there's always sick people. There's always sick people. Pharmacies closing down and mass closings should be just as alarming as if the hospitals were to start closing down in mass closings. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have the clientele when there's always sick people? So I decided to do some research. A CDC publishing in 2024 based off of the National Health Interview Survey data states that 8% of Americans are uninsured, as in 8% of Americans do not have health insurance, okay? And then an estimated amount of 27.1 million Americans of all ages are also uninsured. They do not have health insurance. So now everything is starting to make sense. If your clientele, the sick, are uninsured and they don't have the funds to make out-of-pocket expenses for their health, guess what? You have no business. You have no business. And this is what I want you guys to think about. This is affecting the pharmacies. What makes you think it's not going to affect the hospitals? They have the same clientele. The same clientele, sick people, okay? Sick people. More and more people do not have health insurance. They cannot afford out-of-pocket costs for health, okay? Do you know how expensive an asthma pump is? Do you know how expensive diabetes strips are, test strips are, and needles? Do you know how expensive that is? Insulin? They don't have it. And now you have this administration trying to propose bills such as the big beautiful bill that wants to cut $880 billion from Medicare. That would leave 10.3 million people without coverage and then 7.6 million people without insurance on top of the number that we're already dealing with. You have Idaho health providers currently, right now, I kid you not, look it up, desperately pleading. They're pleading for help. Why? They're pleading for an action because the state is facing losing $3.5 billion in Medicaid. That's what they're facing right now. They are facing a $3.5 billion cut from Medicaid for their state. And they're literally calling out for a cry of action right now for help. Retail stores like Macy's, Forever 21, all of them closing. It's sad. Okay, an era is gone, but it's all right. It's retail. Pharmacies closing down in mass numbers. Before you know it, it's going to be hospitals that are closing down in mass numbers. Because again, like I stated, they have the same clientele. The same clientele. Whatever you cannot afford at the pharmacy, you damn sure cannot afford at the hospital.
Welcome back to AI Crystal, your go-to spot for deep dives into AI, tech, and today, critical current events. A big shout out to our returning subscribers. We appreciate you for riding with us. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to join the conversation. Today's hot topic. CVS is closing 300 drug stores. Let's critically break it down. This isn't just about a retail chain trimming the fat. CVS is reacting to rising tariffs, economic uncertainty, and shifts in consumer behavior.
I can't live like this anymore. Nobody cares about touch you unless you're dead or dying.
When I was 21, I sustained a back injury that left me paralyzed with pain. The slightest movement would send excruciating pain down my back, through my buttocks, and all the way down to my leg. I wasn't able to put any weight on this leg. I literally had to be carried from my bed to the toilet, and I needed assistance in the toilet at the age of 21. And of course, like most Americans, I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I couldn't afford proper medical care. I went to the local family doctor, and he did an x-ray, and he's like, oh, well, you're young and healthy. This is probably just an inflamed muscle. You'll be all right in a few days. Fast forward 6 months, I'm still in this excruciating pain, unable to walk. My entire life shut down. I quit my job because I couldn't work. I dropped out of college because I couldn't attend classes, and I was isolated from all my friends because I literally couldn't go out. When we eventually realized that this was a serious medical condition that wasn't going to go away with rest, we collected money to pay for steroid injections to reduce the inflammation on my buttocks where I felt most of the pain. And these injections were $500 a piece, and I needed 3 injections. Now I can walk, but I'm limping because I still have pain. So we decided to do physical therapy. Went to a physical therapist and found out that it was going to be $100 a session out of pocket. I was like, there's no fucking way I can afford this. She recommended me to go to a chiropractor, which was $25 a session. I was like, fine, we can afford this. I saw this man for an entire year. For an entire year, he kept doing these stretches on me, kept fixing my back, and every other week I would still be limping into his office. It took him a year to be like, hey, you know what? I can't fix you. You need to go see a surgeon. You need to see an orthopedic surgeon to find out what's going on. I think you might have a serious back condition. I go to an orthopedic surgeon. He tells me I need an MRI. I tell him, hey, I don't have insurance. How much is this going to cost me? He's like, oh, $1,200. I'm like, hey, I can't afford that. Can I go get an MRI from somewhere else? Can you write me a note? I'll go get an MRI and I'll bring it to you. He writes me a note. I pay $600 out of pocket to get an MRI. And finally, it's been 2 years at this point. 2 years after my injury, we finally find out that I have a herniated disc, which is putting pressure on my nerves. It's putting pressure on my spine, which is causing inflammation in my spine and causing inflammation through all the muscles throughout that nerve that runs down my right leg. So the surgeon tells me the only way to correct this problem is that I need to get a surgery done, which is called a microdiscectomy. Basically, they shave off a portion of the disc, which is putting pressure on my spinal cord. And this surgery costs close to $35,000 out of pocket. I tell him, hey, I don't have this money. What can I do? And he's like, well, you need to get insurance. And this is before Obamacare. So my only option was to get a job and work with excruciating back pain. And I'm like 23 at this time, almost 24. And the only jobs I can get without any work history or without a degree from a university is retail jobs. So I spent the next 6 months of my life standing, folding fucking clothes at Express and JCPenney so that I could get insurance so that I could pay for my surgery. Whilst I'm waiting to collect the money to afford my surgery, my doctor is prescribing me powerful painkillers. I'm talking Vicodin, oxycodone, Valium to help with my pain. These are highly addictive medications. They're made from heroin, basically, the same poppy plant. He was prescribing them to me like candy. I would run out. He wouldn't ask another question. I would go in for my weekly or monthly visit. He would just write me another prescription. He's prescribing a child Vicodin. And of course, I got addicted. I got addicted to these pills. I found myself popping these pills in moments where I didn't have the pain. I just took it because I had the fucking craving for it like a cigarette. When I finally, first of all, become eligible for my health insurance, because it doesn't kick in right away, after months of working and collecting money, not spending money on anything else, just literally just saving money for my surgery, I gather the $6,000 surgery copay that I need to get this surgery done. I get my surgery scheduled and I go to my boss and I tell her, hey, I need a month off of work because I'm getting a major back surgery done. She tells me the best I can do is 7 days, which is 5 days that I normally am scheduled to work, plus the 2 additional days off the week that I get. So the best she can do is 1 week. And I shit you not, 1 week after my surgery, I'm working at JCPenney and I'm bleeding through my shirt because I'm not supposed to be on my feet. I'm bleeding through my shirt and my manager goes, hey, there's some blood on your shirt. Go take care of that. And by this time, I'm 24 years old and I get my surgery done. And through that, thankfully, I regain my mobility. But the pain has never gone away. I still, to this very day, I'm 36 years old. I have pain every single day. Every single day of my life for the past 15 years has been in pain. Fast forward 3 years, obviously I quit that job and I have a new job as a graphic designer for a much bigger company, and my injury is flaring up. I'm having trouble sitting at my desk, so I need to take some time off work. I wanted to apply for short-term disability. I went back to that surgeon, right? And I brought the form with me that my company was 100% okay with this. They're like, yeah, we can see you're hurting. Go get this form signed by your surgeon. I take this form to my surgeon and he looks at me and he's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you're still having pain. We did the surgery. You should be completely fine. You're young. You're skinny. There's no way you're having this pain. And I was literally speechless. I was like, listen, my company has already approved this. All I need is for you to fill out this paperwork that says I have a serious medical condition. I don't need anything else from you. As soon as he gave me the paper with his signature, I stormed to the front office and I told them to give me every single medical record they have of me, and I never fucking want to see this doctor ever again in my life. I've spent half my fucking life in pain. You don't know what that does to a person. Like, I want to go out, I want to explore the fucking world. I want to see everything that there is to offer. And some days I wake up, I can't fucking walk. And why do I have to live my life like this? It's the worst feeling to try to explain to somebody how much pain you're in and they completely fucking dismiss you. 15 years, bro. You don't know what that's like. I was a child. I was a baby. My entire life has been ruined because I fucking had the misfortune of being in this fucking country that doesn't give a shit about its fucking citizens. Even as I'm sitting in my car right now talking to you guys, I'm in pain. And I've accepted I'm never going to wake up and jump out of bed and be totally okay and be ready to seize the day and be excited for what the day brings, because I'm always going to have this pain. If we had universal health care like most developed nations of this world, I would not have to live my life like this. From the moment I experienced the first sting of pain, I could have gone straight to the doctor and be like, hey, there's something wrong. We could have done the tests. We could have done all of the tests that I needed. If I had the proper care when I first sustained this injury, I would have never needed surgery. I would have gone straight into physical therapy. They would have helped me manage my pain, and I would never ever be in this position. My entire life was ruined at the age of 21 because of the fucking healthcare system in this country, and my story is not unique. I'm not unique. This happens to millions of people every fucking day, every year. And our masters don't give a fuck. The healthcare system in this country is made for profit. It is not about caring about the health of the citizens. It's about squeezing every drop of money, every dime that a person has.
CVS is moving forward with closing all locations in Arkansas after the state banned PBMs from owning pharmacies. They only have 23 locations there, but it proves where these companies make their money. Before the bill even passed, they were running ads telling everybody that if the state moved forward with the legislation, they were going to close all their stores. There was never even a whisper of them considering stopping PBM operations. They threatened that people would lose access to care if they couldn't own pharmacies and PBMs. But when it came down to it, they chose to be a middleman rather than a provider. That speaks volumes. The middleman has wrangled complete control from the people who actually provide care, and they are squeezing them dry. Without ever touching a medication, they are still capturing 31% of each prescription, according to the HHS. Now, independent pharmacies in the state have a chance to fill some gaps, but with CVS still controlling every aspect of care, it's going to be a tough process. I also haven't heard anything about Express Scripts or Optum, who are definitely doing big business in mail order in the state. I guess we need to get licensed up there and do our part. In the meantime, we're in Texas, Ohio, and Indiana. Go to forestpark.pharmacy to look at our price checker. Transfer today and save.
Think about it. Supply chain costs are climbing due to global trade tensions and tariffs on goods from countries like China. The USA economy is shaky for many consumers, with inflation and high interest rates affecting how and where people spend. CVS has also been pushing into healthcare services, so this move may be strategic, closing underperforming locations to reinvest elsewhere. But here's the question. Is this a smart pivot in a changing market, or a red flag about the state of retail and healthcare access in America? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are these closures impacting your community? Do you think more big chains will follow? Don't forget, hit that notification bell so you never miss a critical update from AI Crystal. Smash that like button if you value honest breakdowns. And of course, subscribe to keep our growing community strong. This is AI Crystal, where clarity meets critical thinking. See you in the comments.